All right, guys, welcome back to the Brummy Brothers. This week, we're answering your questions.
Let's get into it. Go from the top.
We're here, we're queer, we don't want any more bears. Right. You remember that from The Simpsons? Yeah. You like this, people? Certain individuals won't like this. Won't name names.
No.
Yeah. This was a present from my girlfriend. Make of that what you will.
Good compliment, that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's ironic.
Well, she encouraged me to wear it in the gym, which I haven't yet.
Yeah, so if you're not... Have you not?
No, surprising, because he's rather dashing, isn't it?
It is dashing. If you're not watching the video, I would strongly recommend that, because...
yeah, for audio listeners, I'm wearing quite a fruity T-shirt.
Yeah, I like it. I've gone plain.
You've gone SF.
Whatever. I've gone SF.
Being an operator.
Yeah.
Gone back to your roots.
Right, well, we're going to go through Q&A today. We haven't done one of these for a while, have we?
Yeah, so third episode of the second season. And yeah, we're doing a Q&A, keep it nice and simple. We've got loads of questions in front of us on your fancy new phone stand.
Yeah, it's good, mate.
And the idea being that obviously we both put up question boxes on Instagram fairly regularly. But you're limited to either kind of like a couple of sentences response of text.
Or 60 seconds worth of gobbing off. Whereas this is going to be a longer format. Obviously, we can go through things in more detail. And we can some of the questions we just don't answer on stories because they're maybe not pertinent and not relevant.
Yeah, we try and keep it kind of like work related, I guess.
Yeah,
on social
correct.
media, like coaching orientated, whereas
So
we
this
have
is
more,
just gonna be...
might have more scope to be silly here.
Yeah.
Hence the
this,
T-shirt.
Yeah, exactly.
Set the tone.
Just call it silly. Right, so do you want to get straight in?
Yeah, whatever.
Right.
Shoot from the hip.
Okay. I mean, this is a boring one to start with, but we're going to start in order, so apologies. Is running 25k a week enough to prepare for CPC/ROP? That's the military or the Marines, if people don't know.
Yeah, a bit of a military prep question.
Yeah, 25k a week. What do you think?
Well, it depends what that 25k looks like, doesn't it? Is it 25k of easy running? Is it 25k of like, kind of like max exertion running?
Let's say it's 25k done 80-20 as it should be.
Okay. I think that's pretty good baseline, to be honest. That's decent, really.
Yeah.
If you have got a mix of different runs in there.
I think I always kind of recommend, and this is, you've got to build towards this, because obviously if you just straight in now as you listen to this podcast, you go straight to 25k a week next week, probably not going to be ideal, but building towards this in terms of, I use miles, but 15 to 25 miles per week. 25 is definitely the higher end, which would be about 40k. But doing, between 25 and 35k a week is absolutely fine. Probably as you build up, your peak week, if you like, should be at minimum 25k, and that depends as to whether you're doing other things in the week to increase your running as well.
Yeah, it's always context specific, isn't it? It's like, you know, what's your training age? How good are you at running? How do you adapt to kind of like higher mileage? Because ultimately you are going to be doing kind of a lot of high impact stuff when you get in. So it's as much for just general kind of like conditioning your body to that impact as much as your fitness. Because if you get to training and you've just kind of done the minimum throughout, and then suddenly your kind of weekly mileage ramps up, or you're doing a lot of like stuff in boots that you haven't exposed yourself to, then you're leaving yourself at risk of kind of like overuse injuries and setbacks in that regard, just because you're not used to kind of the higher
correct.
impact.
As you say, there's a high amount of nuance with this, and that's kind of why individualization as a program is very important, because you have to take into consideration the start point, you know, the specific situation, the circumstances, etc. So it's hard to answer that absolutely, but roughly as a bottom end at your peak week, that's probably where you should be, around 25k. Pick one next, would you?
Ooh, so where have you gone?
I went bottom.
You went bottom.
First one.
Nice, okay. Most ideal times to take protein powder and creatine during military prep. Well, we can probably widen the floor to this to just generally.
Yeah.
I mean, the bottom line is you're getting it in. That's the important thing.
Yeah, there's actually no real ideal time. To be fair, I mean,
people really fixate around that. I've noticed I've got like conversations with people around like, what's the optimum like protein window? I mean, like the important thing is you do it consistently. over time.
Well, yeah, the important thing is you just get it in.
Yeah, because most people struggle with that. And that's the other thing. You have this conversation with people, and they're at a point where they're not getting it in consistently.
Yeah,
so
or
before
they're not doing all the other things.
Yeah, so before you worry about whether you have it like 30 minutes after your workout, just make sure you actually get it in the day.
Yeah, and creatine the same. Like creatine you can have any time. It's a saturation thing, so it doesn't matter whether you have it early morning, late night, whatever. As long as it's going in that 24-hour period, it's fine. As long as you're hitting it consistently across the week. It has to be done every day, really, in order for it to load into the muscle for it to have an effect. So if you just do it in the morning because that's when you remember, then that's fine. If you trying to curate it in the optimum way, and that means taking it after your workout, and then you end up forgetting, then it's useless.
These things can be so easily over-engineered, can't they?
Yeah.
Just like habit stack it. Like if you get into the habit of having a protein shake in the morning, whack the creatine in with it, because it tastes grim. So just conceal it with whatever flavoured protein powder you take.
Yeah, I always just say, whatever you are doing in the morning, just stack it into that. So if you're making a coffee, put it in front of your coffee machine, and then it's there. You've got to move it out of the way in order to not take it. So you're going to be more likely to take it. So the bottom line there is just take it as consistently as you can, and timing isn't really important.
No.
I think. Yeah. Next one. Let's go out of the scope of military if we can. We're not going to do that. We're going to do that next one.
Are we going to save that one, or are we going to dodge that one?
We'll save it if we're scrambling at the end.
Scrambling.
You know what's interesting? I'm not sure what kind of context these specific
certain individual who I'm not aware of, to be honest, but he's made himself very present on this list of questions.
He has, yeah. I'm not aware of
and I'll be honest, the standard of questioning isn't
pretty
great.
terrible.
Yeah.
Coffee or order. I'm sure he needs a coffee order.
Yeah, we'll do that then. That's a quick one.
All right, well,
What's your coffee order?
typically a cortado with honey if I'm getting from somewhere nice.
Oh, nice. Standard, like, latte or flat white. Push the boat out, maybe with some honey in it.
Ooh.
Depending on the quality of the establishment.
That's it. Yeah.
If it's like a chain place, probably not, because the syrup's shit. If it's like a nice independent coffee shop, they have proper honey.
Yeah, it's different because syrup is shit.
Well, it's also not honey.
That's true. Yeah, exactly.
It's a completely different
Crucially,
thing.
it's not exactly what you asked for.
Yeah.
So I mean that's a quick fire question. Favorite breakfast? Let's go for that one. It's an extension almost of a question.
Well, let's make a distinction between favourite breakfast and kind of like my actual breakfast. So my actual breakfast.
Why isn't your actual breakfast your favourite breakfast?
Because my favourite breakfast isn't very time efficient or optimal.
Okay.
So my favourite breakfast would probably be go to like a wanky cafe and have like, I don't know, like eggs Benedict or, like something like that.
Yeah.
Full English maybe if it's a nice one.
Yeah.
The actual breakfast they have is like a protein smoothie with like berries in it, chia seeds, stuff like that. Which is still pretty good, but like it's obviously a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
It takes about 2 minutes to make, and it's full of protein.
True.
So
I
it's
actually
optimised.
don't really eat breakfast, to be honest.
Yeah, you don't.
I don't eat breakfast at all because I get straight into work or training or something, whatever I'm doing in that day. I prefer to just go straight in. So when I wake up at whatever 6:37, I'll just straight into what I'm doing. So
The man that nutrition forgot.
I just don't have breakfast. If I'm having like a favourite thing, to be fair, like a bacon sausage bap or a sandwich is fucking good, especially from a nice place, is good. So when I'm pushing the boat out, I'm not really caring about my nutrition. I'll have that.
Well, can we give Greg's a shout out while I'm here? I talked about this yesterday, didn't I? It's obviously like nutrition wise pretty toilet.
Yeah.
But in terms of value for money, so like a flat white or a latte now at like Costa is what, like best part £4.
Yeah.
At Greg's, they're like morning kind of like
Combo.
They're like morning kind of like tradey breakfast deal. Is like you get a hot drink and like a breakfast bap, like sausage or bacon, for $3.55. And the actual standard of it is decent as well.
Pretty good.
Like it's a fresh roll, and the sausage is obviously, or sausage and bacon, has just been sat in like a hot plate. But
Yeah, it's fine.
well, for that, so you get like food and a coffee, and the coffee ain't
It's not terrible.
like it's drinkable. Or you get just a coffee from Costa.
Which is also shit.
So shit, mate.
Yeah, Costa's
Honestly,
terrible.
they're so
Costa's
lazy.
the worst one, in my
These
opinion.
chain coffee places like Starbucks and Costa, so fucking lazy. Like it's just pure like convenience, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not good. And they operate it purely off like brand because we talked about this, the food in Starbucks is horrendous.
Mate.
So
So
bad.
bad.
Like even just the quality, not just like the fact it's nutritionally redundant, which it is, but like the quality of the actual food is pretty terrible. And they just get by because it's Starbucks and everyone's going to go there anyway. But like if that was a new independent shop that serve that level of shit.
Yeah.
It wouldn't survive.
But like, pretty much the only like non-ultra processed food you can get from places like that is the porridge. You know, if you just have the original like oats, and that's shit because that's just carbs.
I know.
There's no
option.
There's no like lean protein option.
There's actually not. Like most of the time, if you're being diligent and you're being intentional, you can find a high protein option in most places. To be fair, in those establishments, it's very difficult to find something that's over 20 grams of protein.
And those toasties, like they taste
pretty good.
Pretty good, but they're fucking not good for you.
No, they're terrible.
They're bad, aren't they?
That's what I mean. Like it's almost impossible to choose wisely in those. Anyway,
okay.
That's why. Typically, trying to seek out an independent coffee shop is
it's the goat, mate. And you're fucking sport for choice around here.
I am
dangerous.
It is dangerous because I've now got a coffee machine as well. So my
you just caffeinated off your tits.
Caffeine intake is through the fucking roof, and
you're just bouncing in his grot,
and I'm all for it. I'm vibrating at my desk. Next. What's Eddie's thoughts on 1 year of Labour government?
Oh, contentious. I don't know if you've noticed, but I've deliberately opted to not really bring politics into,
I wonder why that
into these episodes. Well, it's just because I'm entirely disenfranchised, to be honest.
It's because they're shit.
It is shit, isn't it? Like, so for you, basically, throughout what we call like the first season of the podcast, I was holding out for a Labour government because that was like my last kind of bastion of hope.
Last chance saloon.
It was really, wasn't it? Because we've had like X amount of years of Conservative government. And I'm like, well, you give the other main party a go. If they fuck it as well, then where does that leave us?
Yeah.
And it's not looking good, bro.
It's not, is it? It's pretty fucking terrible, to be honest.
I'll be honest, the one positive and the one thing that they are doing well is navigating the increase on defence spending and shifting back towards making that a priority. On everything else, and particularly Rachel Reeves, who is the Chancellor, pretty toilet.
Very true. But I will say the defence stuff is great, but it's very reactive.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, they can't do anything about it because they weren't in power, were they? But like, generally, like they're all talking, aren't they, in Westminster?
Yeah.
With their thumbs up their bum.
Yeah.
But like, for sure, we knew this was going to be an issue. It's not like Putin's come out of nowhere, is it?
I know, and Israel-Palestine's been going on for decades.
Because we started it. So more than anyone, we should know.
We should know what's going on. Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know. I pay very, very little attention, to be honest, to politics right now. So I wouldn't really have too much of a view or an answer on that. But I'll come back to it, and I always have said the same. But I feel like if you focus loads on politics,
it's bollocks, mate,
and you use loads of your energy to be annoyed about things or whatever, it's just steals energy from actually the ability to affect your own life.
Control the controllables.
Exactly.
And to be honest, over the past year or whatever, I have taken a leaf out your book on that.
Yeah.
And mentally, I'm so much better off for it.
I think it's massive.
Because it's just a drain, isn't it? Like, you're just worrying about stuff ultimately you can't have any input on.
But yeah, it really does affect you as well. Because obviously, as we spoke yesterday, maybe on the podcast, your information diet, be it like social media or news or whatever, can affect obviously the way you think. If you're constantly just exposed to the negative stuff and stuff that's going wrong in the world, whatever, then you're just going to think you have that view to project on the world. Whereas if you're a little more intentional with what you consume, then you're going to view things in a different way. And I felt this yesterday. I've been watching the 7/7 documentary. We watched it yesterday.
Yeah.
And I'm interested in watching it, but I'm super hyper conscious of this thing that I'll watch that and I'm like, oh, should I be watching this? This makes me feel like a certain type of way about the way the country is right now, the way all that kind of,
it's very emotive, isn't it? Right.
That's what I mean.
Because it's the nature of the beast, isn't it? Like it's the worst kind of terror attack that the UK has ever seen. So like by watching it and being British, you are going to feel certain.
It invokes a negative. Well, I guess it is kind of on the whole a negative emotion. I'm a bit unsure about whether I like that. But anyway, I sort of took that viewpoint after COVID or during COVID because. COVID, we had those daily updates, didn't we? The daily breakdowns. I started watching them, and I did that for the first week, like everyone else did. But then I started thinking, well, nothing's changing here, and I can't fucking change anything. So me being updated on how many people have died today, and
I was actually mental if you unpack that, because they'd open up with how many people have died, and then they'd follow it up with ways that they're going to oppress us moving forward. So it's like these are the amount of loved ones you've lost. And now this is
this is the amount of freedom you lose.
This is exactly. This is a further restriction on your freedom. Goodbye.
Yeah, exactly. And so I was after a couple of weeks of that, I was like, this ain't serving me, and that sort of transcended that initial, and I was like, actually, why would I take most news into my psyche, because most of it is negative.
And the other thing you have to remember is what you see on. I'm not getting conspiratorial at all here, but like what you see on the news isn't even really half of what's going on.
No.
So in relation to stuff that's going on in Ukraine and that, we hear a very kind of cherry-picked version of it. There are far more actors at play.
Yeah.
Then it's a far more complex and delicate situation than it's made out in the news.
Of course.
So like, don't buy into those kind of narratives too much, because they're kind of like they're just fabricated, really.
No, the other point to that though is with the news, it's obviously majority. When you watch it, it's majority bad news, and I always just wonder why that is. Well, the obvious reason is it's scarce in terms of the bad things that happen, and they're the things that they report because they're the news items of the day. They're the kind of things that are newsworthy. So if someone's, one person out of 1,000 people, for example, might crash their car on the way to work, that's the thing that gets reported. They can't report the 999 people who got to work safely because it's not work. So it's not news. So it's important to realise when you watch the news, they are just reporting the bad things, and that doesn't mean that everything that happens is bad. It just means that that's the way they're skewing things. Anyway,
let's move on. This is depressing.
Anyway, we'll choose a question. What do you reckon?
Am I going it? Fucking dog or cat from our mate. Fucking our mate, Jeremy Paxman over it.
Fucking one line question.
Great journolism. No question mark either.
Yeah, dog is the answer.
Yeah, pretty much dog. So I've always grown up with cats, but as I get older, I do appreciate that dogs provide a lot more value as a pet than a cat. Yeah, I'm always sceptical of people who don't like dogs. It's a big red flag of mine. So I mean, ultimately, I like both, but I think objectively, dogs do provide more in terms of kind of like as a pet, don't they? Yeah. If you're asking, depending on the dog, I'm very kind of like I'm a bit what's the word? Can you be racist towards dog breeds? Breedish. I am breedish though. I don't really like small dogs because I don't see their function in that. If you've got a small dog, why haven't you got a cat? That's true. Yeah, you're right. If you get a dog, get a dog. As in, like, get a big cunt who like barks and attacks other dogs. Like a chihuahua to me is a little bit useless. Yeah, I agree. You see what I mean? Basically, anything that's like voluble. Voluble. He's not a dog. Yeah. You want like minimum like lab, golden retriever. Ideally, not an actual dog at all, just wolf. Big husky. Yeah. I quite like spaniels. You see, so spaniels are all right. I'd like them if they were a bit bigger. I like that size, mate. That's enough. That's just compact. Is that the right to scale for you? Yeah, exactly. So a wolf for me would be fucking hell. You could ride it. We both could ride it. Yeah, literally. So that's chariot on that bitch. Not ideal to me. I want to feel alpha, so I have to have a little dog. Otherwise, I'm bigger. My dog's bigger than me. Yeah, so you want to feel alpha, so naturally you have to have a Bichon Frise. Yeah, I won't say that. Okay, dog or cat? Brilliant question. Let's go with this one. So 3 purchases you'd make if money was no object. So like cars, trips, houses, etc. You flagged this one to me yesterday, didn't you? I haven't really thought about it since. Neither have I. Which is good. No. Obviously, you need somewhere to live. What that looks like, let's play it out. You got no limitations here. So where do you want to live? What kind of thing? It's probably easy to start with what I don't want. I'm not really asked about cars. Okay. So I don't think I would spend a load of money on cars. Well, you've only got 3 purchases, remember? Yeah. 3 wishes. An invisibility cloak. Fuck off. No. The Philosopher's Stone. Money has to be able to purchase it. A big gaff. Okay. Actually, not like a big mansion gaff. Just like a nice gaff. But like where? Where are we talking? That's crucial. Ooh, it's crucial. Somewhere very middle England, I think. Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. Because as an example. Because I am effectively middle-aged already. I've started like watching Test cricket. You are very English as well. Yeah. I noticed that some of the isms you were using yesterday in the podcast. I was thinking some of my American friends. I ain't gonna have a clue. To this. They won't have a fucking clue. The good thing is, I don't want them to. That's true. Yeah. So if you are listening, please turn off. So middle England somewhere. Yeah, so home county, Surrey. Bit of history behind it, maybe a Duke lived there, It's been,
Duke of Rex.
It's been modernised with appropriate planning permission.
Yeah.
Maybe it's got a swimming pool, a tennis court,
Nice.
accessible to local amenities.
Like what?
Shops.
Very basic.
Traders have access to Dixon's.
Good coffee, I guess.
Yeah, there's loads of little like commuter towns, on the edge of like London, like southwest, kind of like in Surrey.
Yeah,
like it's just so basic in it, but like there's a reason people like it.
Flat, apartment, house.
House, I think.
House.
Big garden. Detached garage that I can convert into a gym.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah. Further to your point about not caring about cars.
So I've got a garage and I've actually turned it into a gym.
Yeah.
Well, that comes on to probably my second purchase. I guess it would be purchases, though, if we can count it as, like, my dream home gym setup.
Okay.
Do you see what I mean?
It comes under a gym.
Yeah, so theoretically, it could be one purchase because I could just get it all from one site.
Okay.
So that would be, like, Gucci rig, like top spec, like barbell and bumper plates, equivalent dumbbell rack.
Okay.
Probably like an assault runner.
You want the full cardio suite,
the full C2 trio. Even there's 4 now technically. We haven't spoken about that. They've launched that fucking like weird strength piece of kit. I sent to you. No, I don't want that. I'm talking about the ski, the row, and the bike.
Yeah. Once you've got that.
Cable rig. That's it, really. That's all I need.
That's all right. It's about fucking 15 grand.
That's about, that's fine. It's really modest, really, isn't it? In my 16th century stately home.
Yeah, not bad.
In
really.
Surrey.
You just need a couple mil, really. And then third purchase, you've got the house, gym.
I'm just getting stumped on my third one, to be honest. You want to start with yours? Okay. I'm not quite there yet.
Yeah. Well, again, like you say, you got to cover the basics, haven't you? Really. So you want somewhere to live, and you need, for me, I need something to drive. I think so. In my mind. First, my car will be a Porsche GT3 RS.
Brilliant. Which you live in your car and you know
unbelievable. That's like a dream car for me. One of many dream cars for me. So that would be amazing. Maybe not that, because that's like, if you've got one to have, that as your daily driver would be probably terrible. Maybe like a Lamborghini Urus or something that's a bit more, you could use it as an actual car rather than it's like a race car. So maybe that. And then in terms of living, I would definitely want somewhere with access to water, whether that's a beach or whether that's a lake or something like that. Like
fucking Tracy Island.
To be fair, actually, as we talked about on probably 2 episodes ago now about the boat trip I went on in Austin.
Yeah.
And all the big houses that were on that lake side.
Yeah.
That would be what I would purchase.
So all paths lead back to Austin again.
Well, obviously, yeah. I'm not choosing to try and move over there for a laugh. So one of the lake houses, probably the one that Joe Rogan lives in. Not with him in, but like kick him out.
She's scanning Joe Rogan, you know.
Yeah.
In your port.
Kick him out. And then I've got one of them. I guess my third purchase, I'm living on a lake. It's got to be a boat, hasn't it?
Yeah, that would be massive oversight if you lived on the water and then couldn't navigate it.
Yeah, so in fairness, if you could like give me the ability to live in one of those big houses, not pay the property tax on it ideally, and then be a nice boat and a Lamborghini Urus, I'm pretty much in there. I don't need anything else. The car is interchangeable in all honesty, because I probably would in Austin, a Lamborghini Urus doesn't really fit the aesthetic.
No.
You need something like a Jeep.
You need a pickup, don't you?
Yeah, you need like a really nice Jeep Wrangler or something like that. Anyway,
nice. Yeah. Well, that would kind of be my dream car if I had to pick something. I'd probably put I'd put like a Defender or something.
Oh yeah.
Like a techie, like modern Land Rover Defender.
Fucking nice.
They're fucking unreliable though, aren't they?
Apparently so, yeah.
Could I have a permanent mechanic on, like, retainer as well, as part of the package? So I've got a Land Rover dealership in my front garden.
Yeah. You need a third?
Speaking of, maybe, like a chef.
Oh, yeah, that's a great shot, yeah.
Because I love food, and I don't mind cooking, but, like, if I could have, like, a chef on retainer.
Restaurant quality.
That would be sick.
Grand. That's a great shot. Yeah.
And also, really time efficient. Because if you know that fucking Craig's just like squaring you away, morning, noon and night, that's massive one thing that you never have to worry about again.
That's Jen, yeah. That's a very, very good point. Yeah, I think we're both living good lives there, so...
Exactly, mate. I mean, we could join forces. We're fucking squared, aren't we?
That's it. Yeah. That's a good answer, actually. Can you see We'll go for that one. Can you see the shortening of Royal Marines recruit training?
That's a good question.
Causing a divide at units. I don't know if it's actually shortening. I know what he means by that. Do you know what he means by that? As in,
What's
like,
actual basic training?
So if basic training shortens and if people start passing out on the shorter version, the units,
for sure.
The senior people at the units might go, "Oh, you've only done 28 weeks. You're a cunt," whatever.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is also an extension of like lowering standards, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Because that is kind of the same ballpark.
Yeah.
Are they doing this?
No, they talked about.
I don't think they can.
Pulling it back to 28 weeks.
Why though? That's for the extra 4 weeks, is it?
It'll be 6 because it'll be 8 weeks actually because it's 36 now.
Oh, because of
ROP,
yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously they're doing it to save money, right? Because they have to pay the recruit for that. For as well.
Yeah, but they can fucking penny pinch in other aspects of the armed forces that aren't as
Why aren't
kind
they
of
pulling
critical.
back on like fucking RLC training or something? You know what I mean? Like,
Do they have
why
training?
choose the Marines? Yeah.
Yeah, this is what I mean, as in like pick your poison.
Yeah, I guess maybe the fact is that the Marines cost the most to train. You know what I mean?
But there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
Cause
I heard it's like, it used to cost about £100,000 each individual recruit. I imagine that's more now.
Yeah, well, where do you stand on it? In terms of what's deconstruct it, so how do you feel about them, the idea of them shortening training? And, on top of that, do you think it would cause friction within units?
So it's a delicate process, training, because we spoke about it right at the start of this podcast, right in the beginning. It's somehow geniusly created.
It's a delicate ecosystem, because and it stood the test of time.
Exactly. It takes someone from fucking Joe Blogs through to being a Royal Marine, and they feel at the end of that they're capable, they're competent, all that kind of thing. So there's a lot of like points of performance, even intangibles, that you have to hit throughout that process for someone to feel capable and competent at the end. And so
there's a point to everything, right?
There's a point to everything. And so if you're going to rip things out just because you sat at a boardroom, you're like, oh, we don't need that. Well, on the ground, that probably makes a huge difference. It's a bit like the ripple effect. If you take this thing out, or even if right now, like even if you allow people more sleep on camp, which makes sense in theory, well, that has such a drop down and ripple effect to how their week is experienced and how they then go into lessons and how they then go into phys and all these different things. We spun the date the other day. Me and Blob were talking about after DigX. We had a dig exercise. I'm not sure they even do it anymore. But you basically just dig in a trench for 4 days. You don't sleep. And in the one night we were going to sleep, our sergeant was going fucking ballistic because one of the lads fell asleep. And he was like literally going to kill someone. There's no over exaggeration. So the training team took us on a yomp to get us away from the sergeant.
That's good. Don't remove him. Take everyone else out of his vicinity.
He was like,
that's
look,
good.
Lads, we're going to leave him in here because we don't want to be in with him either. So we're going to take you on a yomp. So it took us on like a 4 or 5 hour yomp when we're supposed to be sleeping to save us from our sergeant. Anyway, we got back, hasn't obviously slept and had been yomping all night, which isn't great. That was the end of the exercise. Still hadn't slept in that couple of days. We got back to camp and we had straight on bottom field. So we're in the coach, lads are falling asleep, and they're like, look lads, you've got 2 hours of bottom field to get through it. I know you're all fucked, but just get through it. And lads are like literally falling asleep on the bottom field. They're like stood in the 3 ranks, the PTI is telling them what to do, telling them what we're going to do with the session. Lads are literally going, and they're falling asleep. And it's like, that kind of level of fatigue is so hard to deal with. And so if you're not recreating that in any way, then obviously you don't get the desired outcome. So all that to say, if you are pulling things out, it's very delicate. It's a bit like a house of cards.
But yeah, and also like, where do you even start to like cull stuff? Because if you think about it, when you were in training, like there was never a point really when you were just sat around doing fuck all.
No, I know.
Like it's from what you've told me anyway, it sounds like it was all just a whirlwind.
It is, yeah. That's the design.
So what time have you got to play with there?
Well, they pull weeks out, don't they? So maybe they look at a week and go, well, now we don't maybe need that specific week to pull it out. But again, to my point, like it's a big house of cards. You remove one thing and it all starts to come tumbling down.
And if you don't need it, why has it been like that for like the past like 80 years or whatever?
Yeah, and again, so that's, I guess, where
it's delicate, innit?
I stand on that. I mean, if you start pulling things apart, it would certainly affect the end product.
So the second part of the question then?
How it affects units.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it depends on the individual we're talking about, because there are certain types of individuals now, even when I was in, who had done Afghans, and that would colour their opinion of you having not done an Afghan. And that's fine. That's just, you're going to get that because people are bitter and jaded sometimes. But the majority, that was a minority, the majority of people appreciate that, look, you're dealing with the cards you've got, and you're in the same position I was 5 years ago. So the majority, I don't think so. I think as long as the standards stay the same, as in the commando tests really is what I'm talking about, as long as that would stay the same, the respect would still be there, I would like to think. But you're always going to get a fringe unit of the people who are going to...
Oh, you're not going to please everyone, are you, ultimately? No. But like I think you said, as long as the commando tests stay the same, then I don't see really how they can have any qualms.
No.
Because that's ultimately the pass criteria, isn't it?
It is.
So you're both there having...
gone through the same thing. The issue is...
I mean, you could argue that if training is condensed, it then actually makes it harder for a recruit to pass the commando test because they've had less prep time.
Yeah, but I mean, people wouldn't see it like that, would they?
No, they wouldn't, but like, you know, there is an argument.
Bias.
Yeah, there's an argument for that, though.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's kind of same thing as happens now with, from my opinion, in terms of the reservists and the normal recruit. So every time, almost all the time, people will see reservists as lesser. Okay. And in my opinion, from a couple of perspectives, it's actually more difficult to get through reserve training than it is regular, because if you prepare for regular training properly and then you rock up at the start date, well, you just have to then just like relinquish control, and you're like, cool, they take me through, happy days. And then you get to a certain point because you've just followed everything, you just follow it step by step, it's cool. With reserves, you might show up every week and every Tuesday, but that's not enough, as we know, to create any like physical adaptation. So juggling like a fucking finance job and juggling whatever you're doing at home and your family, and then trying to increase your fitness to a level where you're now able to pass the commando test is a major challenge. So a lot of people don't appreciate that when they're like, oh, reservist. But in my opinion, if you're having to balance training alongside a family and a full-time job, it's a challenge.
And the chances are you're a bit older than the average kind of like, you know, regular who's in basic training. So age is against you as well. But like you said, it's mental. Like if you think how hard the task is at hand when you're actually just there
full-time
continually, and you've actually got the momentum of kind of weeks carrying through into other weeks. Imagine how hard it would be if you just come off some mental exercise and you've got to go and juggle your fucking financial, like you said, your finance job at work, the responsibilities that comes with that. Correct. And then in like 3 weeks' time, you've got to come back and pick up where you left off. It's mental,
and you've got to make progress up to that point yourself.
Yeah, it's up to you to manage that time. Of
course, it's hard in different ways, isn't it? Obviously, it's not as intensive.
Yeah,
you know,
so you get that period.
You get that period of respite where you're in your own bed and you with your missus, and it's great because you don't have to miss home and all those kinds of things. But there is definitely an argument for both, and that's why I would always encourage that external help that we provide, really, for people who are going through the reserve option, because it's so difficult to manage that by yourself, particularly, as you said, if you're managing a job and family and all the rest of it. You need some help with that.
For sure, with reserves,
yeah.
Right,
anyway,
next.
We've
got about 10 minutes to play with.
I reckon one more question, depending on how good it is.
We go up towards the top, you reckon? What go-to running shorts? We do a quick one, we do two more. Go-to running shorts. I fucked off running shorts recently. I run in like running tights now.
Oh yeah, same.
So much better in terms of chafage.
I agree. So I got two answers. So either you got Nike or March On for me, gold standard for the running tights. So they're really, really good, really comfortable, whatever. If you don't like running tights, Lululemon are going to be your best bet for running shorts, in my opinion.
Probably, yeah.
And they're not affiliated.
Running shorts are just kind of like one and the same to an extent. As long as you get a decent pair between those kind of top brands, they're all a variation on a theme. And the same with running tights, but I just feel like running tights, for kind of what you'd want out of like running garments, are just way more consistent. As in, like, you chafe less.
Yeah.
They're not as... they don't differ as much in terms of, like, you know, having to find a pair that works for you. Because they're skin tight. You can't
really fuck them up.
Yeah, exactly.
As long as they fit you, you're pretty okay.
And then, like, in the winter, they're sound because you could just get some longer ones. Summer, get some shorter ones. Fine for longer runs. Fine for track sessions, especially.
Yeah, they are. They are
better.
They are ideal, and that's why runners wear them fundamentally.
Yeah, there's. I mean,
proper.
That's what I mean. Like, if you
ways.
actually want to, if you want to kind of get an idea for what you should wear as a runner, you should probably look at professional runners.
Yeah, they typically either wear those or they'll wear really short shorts. Now, for short shorts, if you've got bigger legs,
It's a no go.
Aren't
yeah, it's all right when you look like a fucking breadstick.
Yeah,
in
exactly.
Because
if you've ever done a barbell squat,
Yeah, there's no chafe in there, is there?
Some
But
tights.
if you are holding a bit of muscle mass in your upper leg, then I'd recommend running tights. Yeah.
Yeah. How strict are the drug tests in the Marines or the military as a whole? And what do they test for specifically? Now, I can only assume this question
It comes from a drug taker.
Has a certain
certain penchant
in
certain
mind.
penchant for recreational drugs.
So I imagine, well, maybe not, but what he's probably talking about is steroids.
Yes, maybe. I didn't even think about that. But that is quite a prevalent issue anecdotally from what I understand.
Yeah, I think it is from certain individuals
Who will remain
nameless, but are quite prevalent in the scene. Really. Quite wild. Yeah, so they do drug test you. I probably got drug tested total maybe 4 or 5 times in my 5 years.
So once a year?
Pretty much once a year. What happens is they'll close down the camp. The drug team will come in and they won't let you leave the camp until you've got a stamp on your hand which shows you've been piss tested. So it is a piss test, and essentially they're looking for the obvious ones like cocaine and all that shit. And there's a 0 tolerance. So if you do get caught with any trace, that's you out. But steroids and anything else, any extracurricular on that front, they don't really test for.
It's interesting that, because you'd think that would be way more relevant to the target population.
Maybe not though. It's cocaine and stuff, surely.
Reckon? I don't know. Maybe, yeah. Well, they're both relevant. Do you think they test for both?
Fair. I don't think you can test for steroids and stuff through piss tests, is the problem.
Can you not?
I don't think you can.
Sure, but that's piss test works in athletics, so it must do.
Yeah.
It must be the scope of the test they do.
Maybe.
Certain tests, I don't know. I don't work for fucking the.
USADA.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they don't test for that kind of thing. But what will happen is they can request a specific test. So if you go from fucking 70 kilos wet through, and then next week you're 85 kilos stacked and jacked, there's probably going to be some questions asked.
If you come back from summer leave looking like a fridge,
exactly, yeah.
Questions are going to be asked in the office.
If you start benching 4 plates in the middle of your fucking fizz session, probably going to be like, we should probably test fucking Jimbo.
So do performance enhancing drugs, but be covert about it. Is really the message.
Only make slight progress every leave period.
Remember to cycle.
Also, devil's advocate here, but in my opinion anyway, and this is very Russian of me, I'd imagine, what's the problem with your forces being on steroids? I want them as strong and as fast and as fucking hoofing as they can be. Let's not have them natural. Fuck
you
that.
want like an elite lab-grown force,
100%.
really, don't you?
Yeah, who can run through a wall better? Someone who's armed up to the fucking yin-yangs, mate. Or just natural shepherds who can't do fucking anything.
Yeah.
Right.
Someone who actually has to run through walls just to take the edge off all the drugs they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess the side effects probably negate that logic.
in some various side effects.
In some ways, yeah. But, maybe just a little bit of like extra test or whatever. Great.
Just like in the way that you'd season chicken. just a sprinkling.
Just a little bit of fucking testy, fine. I've always been of that mindset. Like, what's the problem? But yeah, there obviously are intricacies to that. But yeah.
Yeah, but if you are unsure, ask someone who's actually in a position to advise properly, who knows the ins and outs. Someone who works for like fucking WADA or something.
Yeah, I don't have any idea, to be honest, about steroids. I just know they make your recovery better.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That it? Are we going
to We got one more, quick.
Go for it. Scroll if you need to.
Yeah, go to running shorts. Garden or balcony again from our mate.
Really weird.
Very fucking shit question, that. Yeah. No offence.
The business one if you want. But.
Where's the business one? How did you grow your business to where it is today? I guess this is aimed at you, isn't it? Because you put the question up, so.
Yeah. By accident.
He's the short
He's the short answer, really, if you've got no time. Yeah, it is kind of a weird, and we're not like saying madly successful, but
it's not an accident in the sense that there was purpose behind it, and we're all qualified, and we've kind of got experience, and we know what we're doing.
Yeah.
But like, you didn't physically sit down and map it out.
No.
Precisely, and like you can't really with stuff like that because it happens over such a prolonged period.
Yeah, it wasn't like I sat down and said I want 150 clients.
Yeah.
But I think it just happens like you say gradually, and over time you improve what you offer. Over time you improve your business nous, in terms of how you acquire clients, all those kinds of things. You just improve that skill set over time, and I've had help, to be fair, from like a mentor and all that sort of stuff, and that's just something you and I
Andrew
sat together, and just say no, but
HS Tiki Talk.
Literally, like about 2 years ago, I sat down and essentially gave half of my fucking net worth to this dude, and my family was telling me it was a bad idea, all that kind of stuff. So there's been risk all the way through, and that's one of those probably big ones.
Sounds so sketchy than it actually is when I gave half my net worth.
I literally could have been proper scammed, for that.
Yeah, well, you were in my living room, weren't you, when we were talking about it? I remember.
100%. I remember, and then luckily that fucking worked out. So just betting on yourself a little bit was part of that. I also say, when I say that though, it's important to recognise and realise that I didn't take any massively unnecessary risks.
The massive, like the crucial detail here is calculated risk, isn't it?
Correct. Like I still would have been surviving.
Yeah, because being like gung ho about it is probably not the approach to take.
Yeah,
it's certainly going to come with kind of increased risk of failure.
There's a big thing where you bet on yourself, it'll work out.
That's kind of like a toxic subcurrent of like the hustle culture grind. It's like just fucking go all in, and it's like
what does that mean?
As we know from certain individuals who you're quite close with, just blindly betting on yourself despite all kind of like available evidence,
Sometimes doesn't work.
Shockingly, sometimes doesn't work.
No, and again, you have to draw some stuff back, and like if you just go all in, sometimes it works, but other times, it isn't. But to answer, I guess the question, I was actually sat in Australia after a period of travelling with my ex-missus, and I ran out of money essentially. So I was like, well, I'm gonna have to start taking on one-to-one clients. It wasn't something I wanted to do at the time because it was going to be more work intensive, and I was travelling. I was like I didn't want to work too much. So I'm going to take on 5 clients, like a really low price point. And so I did that. I put on my story, and 5 people signed up. I was like, cool, that was me for a bit. Yeah. And then that just started to expand. And then I started to think a little bit bigger, actually, and started to think, actually, if this is going to become, my actual full-time thing, I want it to be sustainable, and I want to be able to offer something that isn't just me sat in my living room telling someone to do a back squat. I want it to be a bit more of a system, and in order to do that, I needed to expand and make more money and whatever else. So where we're at now in terms of being able to offer a pretty watertight system, I guess, in terms of we've got a nutritionist, rehab, we've got strength and conditioning coaches, all those kinds of things, only happens because it's been gradual over time. And it's been like 3 years now. And we're still changing things all the time. For
sure,
learning things all the time,
It's all very fluid, isn't it?
Yeah, correct. And you never arrive at success in business. It's always like, okay, fucking hell, this month what are we doing? You know what I mean? So it may look from the outside in that we've got it all figured out, but we aren't. And we're sort of learning as we go. But the whole, if you take one thing from this gambit, the underlying principle for really whatever the business is you need to be able to help the end user get a result. That's pretty much it. Regardless what the business is. Even if you're in a coffee shop, you need to make a good coffee for the fucking end user.
Yeah.
Like that's the product is always going to be the bedrock of your business, and the only reason we've been able to get to where we are is because we can get a result for the person who comes through the door.
Product first, always. Yeah. An extension of that is be prepared to work hard at the product to make it good. And then an extension of that is be passionate about what you do because you are going to have to work hard at it.
Yeah, exactly. And not normally there's going to be minimal returns for a long period of time when you're putting in that initial work. So anyway, I can talk about fucking business all day.
Yeah, you love it. You set off there.
Yeah.
You rein that in.
Yeah. We're not a business podcast. So that's all we got time for, I think, correct?
Yeah, I think we'll wrap that up, mate. Happy with that?
Yeah. Sounds good.
We don't actually know what the next episode is, but
in true Brummy Brothers fashion.
In true Brummy Brothers fashion, we have run out of ideas. No, we haven't. It will be another themed episode.
Yep.
So quite keen to do something maybe around like social media, have another masculinity crisis, because that's definitely got worse.
Even like the state of warfare at the moment, like that's obviously a big thing.
That could be good. Yeah, we're trying not to make it too political, although it's the nature of the beast.
True. But yeah, if you are enjoying our new setup and our new whatever, then our new season, then drop us a comment, drop us a message.
Yeah,
subscribe,
more engagement from you, because we're digging out. But it's probably one way at the minute. It takes two to tango.
Yeah. Exactly.
So like, there's at the bottom, on Spotify or YouTube, there's a link to our email address. So if you've got ideas for episodes or segments, contact us. Equally, it's just easier. Fucking drop us a DM.
Yeah.
And just get involved. Let us know what you think. Comment on whether our opinions are shit or not.
Yeah, because
you feed the algorithm ultimately.
And ultimately, you probably are thinking that. So.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you in the next one.